Welcome to Asian Ide in the endless scroll of modern life, where headlines blur into noise and emotions are consumed as quickly as they are forgotten. Why does a single playful sentence, "they've already registered their marriage," suddenly make thousands pause, smile, and feel as though they've witnessed something real? Is it not strange that a fictional couple, born from scripts and staged under lights, can ignite a wave of collective joy so powerful that it feels indistinguishable from reality? When audiences encounter this phrase without context, confusion is inevitable, but beneath that confusion lies a deeper curiosity. Because what kind of story could make people speak of love as if it had truly happened? The answer unfolds not in a single moment, but in a journey, one shaped by repeated encounters, growing familiarity, and an emotional resonance that refuses to fade. But how often does a pairing transcend performance to become something audiences genuinely believe in? Their first collaboration was not merely a success, but a phenomenon that embedded itself into the emotional memory of viewers, weaving a story of silent longing and enduring affection that stretched across years. So why do stories of patience and restraint leave a deeper mark than those filled with dramatic declarations? Perhaps it is because they reflect a truth rarely acknowledged, that love is not always loud, not always immediate, but often hidden in the quiet persistence of waiting. But how many people see their own untold stories reflected in such narratives when their second project arrived? It shattered expectations by abandoning innocence for complexity, replacing sweetness with tension and trust with suspicion, yet the connection between them only grew stronger. So as true chemistry revealed not in harmony, but in conflict, audiences began to realize that what they were witnessing was not a repetition, but an evolution, where each role peeled back another layer of emotional depth. But can such growth be manufactured, or does it emerge naturally from something unspoken between two individuals? As anticipation builds for their third collaboration, the excitement feels less like hype and more like a shared emotional investment, because people are no longer just watching a story, they are waiting for a feeling to return. But can a new story ever truly recreate the magic of the past? The premise itself shifts away from fantasy into something far more grounded, focusing on two individuals shaped by pain rather than privilege, who did not fall in love at first sight but slowly learned to trust again. But is healing perhaps the most compelling form of romance? A single mother carrying both resilience and vulnerability, and a man whose quiet exterior conceals a wounded past, find themselves drawn together not by coincidence, but by a shared understanding of loss. But is it possible that the deepest connections are born not from perfection, but from brokenness? Their story unfolds in a setting where nature moves gently, where mountains stand steady and water flows endlessly, creating a space where emotions can breathe. But does the environment shape the story, or does it simply mirror the inner landscapes of the characters? Even the smallest details, the color of clothing, the softness of light, the rhythm of daily interactions, become part of a larger emotional language, whispering truths that words cannot express. But how often do we overlook the subtle signals that reveal who someone truly is behind the scenes? Fragments of unscripted interaction blur the boundary between fiction and reality, where instinctive gestures replace rehearsed movements, and care appears in moments too fleeting to be staged. But why do these glimpses feel more convincing than the story itself? Is it because they remind us of something we rarely see anymore? Authenticity, unguarded and imperfect. Existing quietly in a world obsessed with performance, the phrase "they've registered their marriage" becomes more than a joke. It transforms into a collective declaration, a symbolic recognition of a connection that audiences have come to cherish. But what does it mean when viewers begin to validate a relationship that exists only on screen? Perhaps it reveals a deeper longing, not for fantasy, but for stability, for a kind of love that feels earned, tested, and undeniable. But is this longing rooted in hope, or in the quiet fear that such love is becoming rare in real life? In an industry saturated with exaggerated tropes, dominant CEOs, contractual relationships, dramatic betrayals, this story chooses restraint, choosing instead to explore the slow, fragile process of healing. But why does simplicity now feel like a bold creative choice? Maybe it is because audiences have changed, becoming more reflective, more aware of their own emotional landscapes, seeking stories that do not distract, but resonate. But can a drama truly meet such deeply personal expectations? As the anticipation continues to grow, one cannot help but wonder whether the true success of this collaboration lies not in its ratings or view counts, but in its ability to make people feel seen. But how do we measure the impact of a story that touches something invisible? And when the drama finally airs, when the carefully crafted scenes unfold and the long-awaited moments arrive, will the audience find the satisfaction they seek? Or will they discover that what they were truly chasing was never the story at all? Because in the end, the most haunting question remains not about the characters, nor the actors, but about ourselves. Why do we hold so tightly to these imagined relationships, and what does that reveal about the love we are still waiting for? Thank you for watching the video. See you again.